Israel says 3 Syrian tanks entered the demilitarized zone of the Golan Heights on Saturday, raising concerns that violence from Syria's civil war could cause tensions on a frontier that has remained quiet for more than 40 years. The BBC explains.
The Golan Heights, a strategic plateau, was seized from Syria by Israel during the Six-Day War of 1967. Since 1974, the UN has overseen a demilitarized buffer zone, seen here on the map.
It is not immediately clear why the tanks entered the heights, but the Jerusalem Post reports locals in the area heard heavy exchanges of fire between what appeared to be the Syrian army and opposition forces. The vehicles entered a village in the Syrian-controlled portion of the Golan Heights that is close to an IDF position on the border. The defense establishment has concluded, however, that the movement of tanks was linked to the Syrian civil war and not intended as an act of aggression against Israel. Israel has restricted its response to the violation by lodging a complaint with the UN peacekeepers in the area. According to The Guardian, the border with Israel isn't the only frontier being affected by Syrian fighting. Last month, 5 Turkish civilians were killed in a cross-border shelling incident that prompted return fire from Turkey for several days. A writer for the Daily Beast notes that recent violent incidents sparked by Syria in Lebanon and Jordan have reaffirmed long-running fears that the war in Syria will eventually draw its neighbors in. The conflict in Syria has now lasted more than 20 months and has claimed the lives of more than 36,000 Syrians, according to opposition activist reports. For Newsy, I'm Candace Avilés. Multiple sources, The Real Story.
IDF Chief of Staff Benny Gantz has toured the Golan Heights amid tight security following the entry into the demilitarized zone of Syrian tanks over the weekend. Gantz and his aides were reportedly able to see battles between Syrian troops and rebel forces taking place just a few miles away from Israeli army posts. The IDF chief ordered combatants to be ready to defend the Golan in the event of any spillover from the months-old Syrian conflict. Syrian sources say tanks belonging to the Assad regime entered the Golan Heights as part of an operation to flush out rebel fighters and not as provocation toward Israel. Nonetheless, the IDF has raised its alert level in the area as Israeli defense chiefs have become increasingly wary of the possibility of the usually calm border area turning into a lawless enclave akin to the Sinai Desert, which could be exploited by militants or terror groups.